Hey guys, it's Destiny, and today I'm going to be going over characters that I feel like have been valuable for a very long time now. Just characters I overall recommend building. And I will also somewhat talk about Black Swan and Sparkle and also Dr. Ratio since they are going to be coming up. So maybe you can get an idea of where they might fit on a team just based on the element and path that they are. And if you guys do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. So to begin, and I recommend even if you are a paid player or a free-to-play player to build this character after I have actually built her recently myself. Xueyi is really incredible for how much damage she can honestly dish out. And I know a lot of people are a little worried about using her because of the whole gambling aspects, but I thought I'd explain a few things regarding that and how, in a sense, her kit isn't as bad as some people may think it is when you actually do use it. So as you go through a fight, Xueyi will gain tiles, which the goal with these tiles are just to get the matching set. The thing is, even if you do fail with your attempts, you're still going to be able to benefit even from the usage of a bunch of skill points, since you will be able to get the damage boost effective attacks by an extra 10%. So Xueyi does have ways, in a sense, to make up for you using all those skill points, because then your hit at the end is just going to deal a good amount of damage overall. She is a bit of an RNG character in a sense with the gambling, but at the end of the day, she isn't too difficult to use in my personal opinion, and she's really flexible with what supports you can use with her, which is awesome. And of course, all players get her for free, so if you guys are lacking a DPS character, she's definitely worthwhile and absolutely really strong. Another character that I recommend building because of their kit is Lynx. This patch, we actually all get a free Lynx. If I'm not mistaken, you get the free Lynx from doing Pure Fiction. So if you guys are lacking a sustain, Lynx is definitely the way to go. Because so far the sustains we have gotten are Luocha, Huxuan, and Huoho when it comes to limited sustains. We aren't too sure when the next rerun for a limited sustain will be. It might be next patch, who knows? But regardless, you may want to pull for someone else, for example, Black Swan or even Sparkle. Now in this case, you may want to just build one of your 4-star sustains, and Lynx is definitely a great option for that. Lynx is a character that can add survival response to allies, which this is pretty nice because if you do have a character that is the path of destruction or preservation, then their likelihood of getting hit will be higher. This is pretty nice in the case of Blade, where Blade wants to get hit pretty often for more follow-up attacks. So this is pretty good for that purpose. And of course, Lynx just has a bunch of ways to heal. She heals with her skill, she heals with her ultimate, and her ultimate's really nice because she can dispel one debuff from all allies as well when she uses her ultimate. So she has a way to cleanse, which cleansing is really nice due to the fact that if you are inflicted with numerous debuffs, then cleansing is definitely the way to go with that. And then, of course, Lynx also has continuous healing whenever she uses her skill or ultimate on an ally. So your team, for the most part, should be pretty healthy if you do build out your Lynx. So she definitely makes for a pretty nice sustaining character overall. And in all honesty, she's also super cute. Another character I highly recommend building that is also free is Asta. I notice I've actually done majority of these characters are free, but I think that's really nice because everyone will be able to build them. The reason why I recommend Asta in particular is that she's really nice when paired with other fire characters, especially if you do have hypothetically Topaz or Himiko. But even if you don't have them, she's able to give your team attack buffs, and she's also able to give your team speed buffs. The reason why the speed is really good in particular is that this definitely can help you when it comes to clearing Memory of Chaos within a certain amount of cycles, since if your speed is getting increased, then potentially go numerous times in a cycle, depending on how much the ultimate ends up boosting you upwards. So Asta is definitely really nice when it comes to endgame content, and she may not feel as important in the beginning. I mean, when I first played it in the beginning, it didn't really feel like the speed boost mattered as much, but definitely when you get down the line, that's when Asta will definitely be very useful for the buffs that she does have. One of my favorite characters that I would also recommend, which I believe there was an opportunity to get her for free a few patches ago. I'm not too sure though if you can now, I don't believe so. But she also has been on numerous banners at this point, is Pela. Pela is absolutely one of my favorite supportive characters. She is skill point positive, so you don't have to use her skill a bunch. And she also has a low costing ultimate. She just gets her ultimate pretty fast, so I'm a huge fan of that. And her ultimate is definitely a nice thing about Pela's kit for sure, because Pela is able to reduce enemies' defense by quite a lot. And practically every DPS character can take advantage of this. I recently used Sampo in MOC 12, and Pela's defense drops definitely helped when it came to Sampo being able to deal more damage and overall the team being able to deal more damage. So Pela is definitely a great character to build up. Even if you guys aren't too sure about building her, I would highly recommend it. She goes on practically almost every team in all honesty because of how useful she is for that defense drop. And Ayla overall just has a bunch of values, so I highly recommend building this character as well. I thought I'd also just go over general team building just to give you guys an idea of what you should do when you are considering building a team for those who kind of do struggle with team building overall. So the main thing I always look for when I am team building is who is my main damage dealer of this team. Let's go with Jingliu for right now. Jingliu will be our main damage dealer, and this slot can be anyone you want that is able to deal an adequate amount of damage. So Jingliu is going to be my main damage dealer, and now I have to decide what characters are actually going to support Jingliu. And that's when you would look into a character's kit to ultimately determine what they would want the most, whether it's damage buffs, attack buffs, speed, whatever it may be. In Jingliu's case, she wants to be in her enhanced form for as long as possible. So that's when a character like Tingyun would be very valuable. Tingyun is able to give Jingliu energy, increase her damage, and also increase her attack. This pairing is super good together. The third slot can either be another supportive character or it can be a debuffer. And I will also give a dual DPS option with Jingliu as well. But let's go for a debuffer, or rather another support. We can go with Pela. Pela is an awesome option with Jingliu as well. And you could also use a character like Bronya, but for those that don't have Bronya and perhaps have Tingyun or Pela, since they are 4-star, so they're easier to get, this is a general team comp of what you could do. Tingyun will give her energy. Pela will be able to reduce the defenses of enemies, which results in Jingliu dealing more damage to them. And lastly, you'll want a sustain. Jingliu does drain the health of allies, and once again, she does want energy. So if you do have a character, for example, like Huohuo, if you are free to play, you can perhaps go for an option like Lynx, or if you have pulled a Bailu in the past. You have two characters that are able to regenerate skill points. Huohuo likes to use a skill every few turns, so that's something to keep in mind. And then Jingliu, of course, is your main damage dealer, and there you go, you've built a team. Now, if you wanted to do a dual DPS comp, you can actually put in a character like Blade. Blade and Jingliu in particular have a very good synergy. Since Jingliu drains the health of teammates, this allows Blade to get more follow-ups at a consistent rate and just dish out more damage. You can keep Pela in this case. Pela will just reduce the defenses of enemies, which in turn is going to buff up Jingliu and Blade's damage against enemies in particular. You could also use a character like Ruan Mei if you do have her, but if not, you can just use Pela. You can use a different buffer if you want, but if you do want to keep in mind both of these characters being benefited, you might want to include a character that can do something that will benefit both of their damage outputs. And lastly, I wanted to quickly discuss Dr. Ratio, Black Swan, and Sparkle. In the aspect of team building, where would they be placed? So from what we know about them so far is that obviously Dr. Ratio is going to be a hunt imaginary character. So a team I could see being pretty good with Dr. Ratio is Dr. Ratio, Topaz, Ruan Mei, and then a sustain character. Could also use a character that can debuff enemies, which can be a character like Welt as well. You could also use a character like Pela. So Dr. Ratio definitely has options when it comes to team building. When it comes to a character like Sparkle, while we don't know what she'll honestly do, the fact that she is Harmony implies that she is more than likely going to, of course, buff up the team in some way or form. So when it comes to team building with her, Let's say you did want to go with Mono Quantum and you wanted to use Xingque. If you do have Silver Wolf, this makes it easier. Then you can put a character like Fuxuan. You would have a complete team of Xingque, Silver Wolf, Sparkle here, and then Fuxuan. So depending on what Sparkle does, we will see how versatile she is. And I'm sure she will be versatile to some degree since most of our Harmony characters work on plenty of team comps. So I cannot wait to see what she does once we get that live stream. And then lastly, we have Black Swan, which Black Swan is a win nihility character. So it ultimately comes down to what she does as for what team comps she will work on. If she were to be DOT centric, then she would pair nicely with Kafka, potentially use Black Swan on other teams. It ultimately depends on fully what her kit does. If she is going to be a more versatile nihility character, or if she's going to be more so I prefer to be on one sort of team comp type of character. So a more niched down character in a way that enhances a playstyle very much further. So we'll just have to wait and see about that. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I just thought I'd share some characters I recommend building. I tried to go over as many free characters as I could. And I also just wanted to go over team building with you guys because I do get questions commonly about how do I team build effectively. So I thought I'd just go over that. And I hope all of you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope you all have a great one. Peace.